Doing an open house today. It's a really beautiful home, and while I'm doing it, we'll take a quick cruise around. Fully upgraded kitchen, really nice backsplashes. You can see maybe the countertops, really nice. Anyway, I thought I'd do a quick video on how to get a deal on doing a home. This one here, price points, in the 700s. They did a really nice job down here. The stonework on the fireplace in the back is really nice. Really good job. So this home, it's built back in the 70s, but fully remodeled and upgraded. So maybe this is the kind of place you're looking for or not, but as a general discussion point, how do you get a deal on the home? You're looking for something, you want to get a good deal. So there's a number of factors that you want to think about. One is, first thing is, they call it the 3Ds of real estate. And what are the when someone's going through a life change, like a divorce, debt, or death in the family. So there are three real common reasons why people will decide they need to sell their home. So the first thing to do if you're looking for a home and you want to get a bargain on a home is make sure your real estate agent's talking with the listing agent. Find out what's going on, what's going on in the home, what's going on with the sellers. For example, I had a buyer. We reached out to the listing agent and we did a viewing of the home, and we got to talk to one of the owners. There were multiple multiple siblings who owned the home, and one of them was still living in the home, and something that was really important to them was if we could do a lease back agreement. So after the home is purchased, that's a common thing, like rent back agreement. You can put it in the contract. So in other words, you allow the person to stay either rent free, or you work out in negotiations terms where the seller, after the home is sold, is allowed to stay in the home for 30 days, 60 days, or whatever works out. That can be really attractive to some people, and that even if your price maybe isn't as high as another offer. Let's say there was two offers on the table, and the seller really wanted to have a lease back agreement, and there was an offer that was slightly less but had the lease back agreement, and the other one didn't. Sometimes they might take the one that for less price but had the lease back agreement. So a general way of talking about that is they call it other terms. So what they say in real estate is best price in terms. And what are the terms? Terms are things like, I want a lease back agreement, or sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes people want to sell really quickly. They want to move their home. Oftentimes people are looking to buy another home. Here's a home over here, I want to get that home over there. I need to make an offer on that home, but I need to sell my current home in order to get over there. So in that situation, they might be really motivated by someone who can close quickly on a deal. And some ways you can do that is by reducing your contingencies, the time frame, the time that you're willing to have the whole contract in escrow. It's normally 30 to 45 days, but maybe there are ways that you can say, let's get our loan contingency reduced, down to maybe you already know your loan's approved, so you can get that reduced down to just a few days. And the inspection contingency, appraisal contingency, there's all these number of contingencies that you have in a real estate transaction. And if you reduce the time of those contingencies, that's one way where you can shorten the deal, get the deal done more quickly, get it out of contract and get it to closing more quickly. That can be really attractive to people. Way of how you can get a deal. Another thing to look for is, like this home that I'm in right now doing an open house is vacant. There's no one living in here. So the other thing you want to look at for is the home vacant, or is vacant. It can be a signal or a sign that the seller, is more motivated to sell and maybe get a deal, because while that home is sitting there vacant, it's still costing them money, maybe in a mortgage and utilities and everything else. So, they often can be more motivated to get the place moved. Another thing you can look out for in trying to get a deal when you're looking for a home is, look at the history of that particular home on the MLS, and have there been a number of price reductions? Has the home been sitting on the market for a while? And especially if you see that the home, say it's been sitting on the market for 90 days, 120 days or something like that, and you see that the price has been reduced, it started up at 400, now it went down to 390, now it's 385, or whatever, something like that. That's a big indication that the seller is really keen to sell, and there's room for negotiation there. The other side of the coin is market for a long time and the price will not change. That could be an indication that the seller is someone who's saying, I'm selling my home for $450,000 and I'm not taking a penny less. Some people are like that, sometimes they're just feeling the market out. Maybe they're not even that serious of selling unless I can get $500,000 for my home, I'm absolutely not going to take an offer. So that's sometimes a situation too. So in that situation, you're probably not going to be able to get a deal because the seller is kind of locked into what they want. So there's a couple of tips right there for you in terms of looking for deals. Find out what the seller's motivation is. That's really important. Good communication. And another thing in negotiating when it comes to a deal is have a feeling for being open. Don't be hardlined yourself, like I'm not going to move in my ability to negotiation. Negotiation is a give and take. There has to be compromise on both sides. So be willing to compromise on what you're willing to do, and go in with a good attitude. It's going to make it more likely that the listing agent and the seller is going to want to negotiate, to talk and work with you. So that's another big tip. So those are things you can look out for deals, and there's deals out there to be made. Another thing is, say this home here, you can see it's been recently remodeled, refurbished. It's looking really good. Lots of recent upgrades. The seller put $200,000 of upgrades into this home. It's less likely you're going to get a deal on that kind of home than one that hasn't had the upgrades. And the reason is fairly obvious in some respects. Like places that have lots of recent upgrades, it's kind of like that the TV show HGTV. They take a house that needs flipping, that needs work, and then at the end they show the end result. Well, homes like that usually move pretty quickly, because people love walking into a home that it's like turnkey. It's ready just to move in. There's not anything that really needs to be done. So those kind of houses tend to move quickly, and for that reason, there's usually less of a deal to be made. Whereas when there are some upgrades that are needed to be done, maybe the carpeting's old, maybe the flooring's old, the paintwork, the fixtures, the cabinets, the kitchen, those kind of things. Maybe there's some work that needs to be done there. Maybe there's an investment that you need to make, 10, 20, 30,000, even more or whatever, to get looking like turn. There's often room in that situation to make a deal. So that's some ideas for you today. I'm doing this live feed today. I just thought I'd say something. I made some videos about this too, but while I was sitting here in the open house, it's kind of quiet right now. I thought I'd do a quick live feed. So, if you got some questions, here I am in Las Vegas, reach out to me. I love talking about real estate. If you're looking for a deal, and, I work with a lot of people from out of state who are moving here. Maybe you got some questions about how to make that transition. I made a video too about that, things that you can do even before you move here. Hey.
Hi.
Hey, I'll turn this off right now.
Big house?
Yeah, I'm just about to close it up. So take a look.
Okay. It's nice.